Hi guys, thank you for joining me today. So one of the questions that I frequently get is how to grow a social media following, particularly for your art. I get this question a lot on my Tumblr for some reason, more than any other network, and I've answered it briefly on there a few times, but I figured I'd make a video just to go into more detail, more specifics. It's kind of funny because one of the most common received comments that I get from people in real life who don't really know a whole lot about social media or art, a lot of them say, wow, you were born in the wrong era. If only you were born in the 1700s or 1600s when painting was the only way to share images. Now we have cameras and photos, and who cares about paintings, right? Something along those lines. That's not a direct quote, it's kind of like a summary. Wrong. Couldn't be more wrong. It is my personal belief that the time we live in right now is the best time for artists that there ever was. Again, that's just my opinion, so like chill. For me, painting has always been self-expression, and my fascination with art wasn't because it was a way of getting an image down. It was expression. It was a message from the artist of some kind. It was them observing their surrounding. It was their curiosity, their passion for it. I love painting because it's so much fun for me. It's my whole life force. I don't know what kind of a person I would be without it. I don't know what I would do. Like, I can't live without painting, and I love art so much. And I know there are people out there who also love art as much as I do. So it's just a silly comment that a lot of people who are not at all into art tend to have, that, you know, art history was all about documenting the past, and yeah, that was a large part of it, but there was so much more intricate story behind all these historical paintings. It's an ever-changing field, if you will, and you can just see that through all these different art movements. This right now is the best time to start an art career. And the reason is, thanks to the internet, you have the entire world at your fingertips. If you play your cards right, you can reach a lot more people than back in the past, where the old paradigm was to go through art galleries and museums, and you had to depend and rely on other people with connections in order to get yourself out there. You had to sort of depend on your community and depend on people with money. Nowadays, that's no longer the case. That was a really long intro, and I'm gonna get into everything else in a second here. But I just wanted to kind of clarify and put out there what I think and my opinion on this. So I just wanted to share with you guys my thoughts on social media and offer you some tips on building a social media following and growing, you know, an audience for your art, because that's sort of, you know, what every artist wants, I'm assuming, to some extent. Now, I think the main focus shouldn't be the numbers. For me, that's never been the main focus, and if I ever put it as the main focus, it never truly brought me any long-term satisfaction or happiness. The thing is, like, if you're focusing on just the numbers, nothing is ever going to be enough for you. It's like kind of like a high of some kind. Like, you're going to need more and more and more because you're going to become desensitized to that number that you have. So you gain 1,000 followers. Whoa, oh my gosh, 1,000 followers. Pretty soon, you're not going to be excited about that anymore. You're going to want 10,000 followers, and you're going to want 20,000. And like, as you go up the scale, that's never going to be enough for you. So just don't focus on the numbers. Don't care so much about it. Kind of see it as a side effect when you produce quality work. And that's really what your main focus should be. It should be quality. Your focus should be on the art, on progressing, on putting your best self out there, developing your style, making your work you and unique. And that is what's going to help you grow. That is the most important thing of all. No social media algorithm strategy, hashtag, nothing's going to work if your art isn't good, if the quality isn't there. So that's really what I think should be your main focus. Of course, is just developing a body of work. Paint every single day. Make art as much as you can. Live and breathe art. If you are truly serious about this, you gotta live and breathe art. This has to be what engulfs your existence. And maybe then some kind of audience will form because your work could be interesting. And that's kind of why I think my life ended up in a way to where I can actually do this full time, and I have all these different avenues of income that support my work to help me keep painting, because that's really ultimately what I love to do, is to make art. I'm not here because I want a lot of followers. I'm not here because I want to make shit tons of money. I'm here because I love to paint. I live and breathe art. It is my existence. I'm obsessed with it, head over heels in love with it, and I just keep going no matter what. And before I had any numbers or anything to show for it, I was painting either way. So it's just a genuine thing for me. Anyway, so I could go on and on about this. I just love art so much. Okay. Yeah. So there are 3 social media platforms that I think are the most important and really have the best chance of getting your work out there. Technically 4, but these are the 3 ones that I'm mostly going to focus on. Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Those are the most popular. They have the most people on there. So with Instagram, it's on everyone's phones. You can bring that with you everywhere. Anyone, anywhere can basically see your work. And it's the same with the other networks like Facebook and YouTube as well. But I think people put more focus on the mobility of Instagram because it was initially designed to be on a mobile device. And that's what it still is. There's really no website that you can go to post from Instagram. It doesn't really work like that. I'm sure there's ways around it, like you can email photos to your Instagram account, but the whole point of it is it's an app. It's supposed to be on a mobile device, and you can share your work from wherever. It's instant. It's right then and now, and that was sort of the whole appeal with it. And the other cool thing is you can link Instagram to your Facebook, so anything you post to your Instagram is going to immediately go to your Facebook, and that makes it a lot easier so you don't have to focus so much on maintaining all these networks, which is what I do. All my content that I post on Instagram also post to my Facebook and my Tumblr. One of the things that you might want to consider is finding art pages that have a lot of followers and hashtagging with the hashtag that they tell you to put under your images, because they might actually find your work and share it. Now, there's no guarantee of this happening because the internet is so saturated with art, with content creators, and so you kind of have to stand out in some way, whether it's through quality, your particular style. So you have to set yourself apart from just drawing sketches of famous people, and that does tend to do really well, and that is a strategy you can take. But if you are serious about having an art career, I wouldn't just draw strictly famous people. I would develop a body of work. Something that is your expression, something that sets your name apart from the rest. So if you just want to draw famous people in a realistic style, that's your thing, that's all you want to do, then go for it. I'm just telling you that that's been done thousands and thousands of times. You want to set yourself apart somehow. And this is what a lot of the art pages are saturated with. And it does work. It's a proven method, even on YouTube. You know, this is why all these celebrity transformation makeup looks do so well. You know, utilizing the image of an already famous person does work, and this is something that I've done on my channel before. However, I don't do this often. It's a lot of times I take requests from my viewers, so I'm not just doing it because I want the views. I mean, yeah, it's nice when people pay attention to your work, but I also want to make sure that I'm catering to my audience. So if there's a frequently requested face that people ask, I might paint it. And I do that with YouTubers because that's kind of my way of giving back to the YouTube community, and because there's some YouTubers that I admire and I want them to see my art. Senpai noticed me. Sometimes amazing artists who have set themselves apart in that way don't get noticed for years, and that's okay. Like this shouldn't be your main goal. The numbers should not be your main goal. It should be the satisfaction with your art, developing your art, and developing your style. This is the main focus and the emphasis that I want you to take away from this video. The best way to get into social media following is to have something worth following. So, you know, decent logic, I would assume. So with Instagram, you want to use hashtags like painting, oil paint, watercolor, whatever. There's a few. I'll throw them up on the screen. Some of them even include Instagram art sharing pages that might notice your work. So I'm just kind of shouting some of them out because some of them have posted my work. So thank you to those Instagram pages. It's also really important to have a Facebook because this is a social network that all your classmates are probably on, your family's probably on, all your friends are probably on, and it already gives you this foundation of people that you can reach. Because the thing with Facebook is that when you post an image and your friends click like on the image or they click comment on the image, it might actually show up in their friends' feed. So now you have more of an audience that can potentially see your image and capture them and capture their attention. So Facebook is actually a great way to spread your art. Facebook actually now also has an awesome video feature, which can be annoying sometimes, but it's a really great way to capture people within the few seconds because it auto plays. When you post a YouTube video to Facebook, it doesn't auto play. They have to click on the video. Same thing with Instagram. You can post short clips of your art, of you painting, of you working on something, and that's going to autoplay. And if it's engaging enough, if there's something interesting there within the first 5 seconds, if you capture that person. And it's also important to have a Facebook page, not like a Facebook page where people can add you, but like a Facebook page that people can like. Because with Facebook friend pages where people can actually add you as a friend, you're limited to like 4,000 people, I think. And at that point, you're kind of stuck. And yeah, people can follow you on that page, but it's different. It's just better to have your Facebook brand page where people can click like, you can post all your content, sync your Instagram with it, post things on there. The growth on Tumblr would be very similar. You do want to use hashtags in the tags section under your posts. Again, you want to tag things like art, painting, work in progress, art studio, artist, art, blah, 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 like all that stuff, because you never know. There's people that are browsing those tags looking for new things to inspire them or new artists for whatever reason. There's people just look for that stuff. I know I do. So people aren't just going to flock to you instantly. It's a very gradual process. And the thing is, it just takes a little bit of momentum. So it might seem incredibly slow for the very beginning of it. It'll just be so slow. And it seems like you're not even gaining any followers a day or 1 or 2 followers a day. And eventually it will grow and progress. Once you get that momentum, it's going to progress faster and faster, and it could be exponential later on. YouTube's algorithms have been changing a lot in the last several years. I think they're updated very frequently. So at the very beginning, it used to be views. If your video gets a lot of views, then it will be at the front page of YouTube. Nowadays, it's focused on the engagement of your video. How long are people watching it? How long do they stay? So it tells the algorithm that your content is good, and it'll bump it up in the suggested bar. Your title of the video should be clear and to the point, not too long. You want to have all the tags that are related to your work. Art, painting, oil painting, how to. There's also an option for YouTube creators. There's a creator studio, which gives you a lot of optimization tips, like how to grow your channel, the best way to engage your audience. All of that's actually on YouTube. YouTube is wonderful at providing resources for their content creators to grow. So I love YouTube so much, and I really love making videos too. That's also an art form for me, and that's why I do that. Why am I wearing a sweater today? It's Florida. It's summer weather outside. I just wanted to be wintry, okay? So honestly, like it's not that complex. You just have to be very consistent. You have to post frequently on Instagram and Facebook and Tumblr. If you are just starting out, you want to post every single day, and that means you have to produce a lot of work. You can show behind the scenes of your art. You can show your palette, some of the materials you like, a work in progress, your favorite mediums, your paintbrushes. People like to see all kinds of things aside from just the work. They like to see into the process of an artist and all the behind the scenes that goes on. With technology progressing, the bar for quality has gotten higher. So you want to have a quality camera. Nowadays, most updated smartphones have decent cameras on them that you can actually film with. But I would suggest getting a DSLR, so that you can have options for interchangeable lenses, and a lot of them also have an HD video feature on them. So if you want to do something like YouTube, a DSLR is highly, highly recommended. Webcams on YouTube is no longer a thing. That's in 2006, and it should probably stay there. You also want to think of yourself as a brand, and I know it's kind of like an annoying thing to say because it's so business-minded, but it's just the fact. Everything you do online, everything you put out there is essentially adding to your brand, your image, your identity, your online identity as an artist. Posting consistently is going to really help you out. It's going to, pop you up in people's feeds, and they're going to remember you. They're going to remember of your existence and your art, and hopefully your work is good quality and it will stand out and they'll want to pay attention. Again, I really want to put the emphasis on focusing on your art, focusing on your work and the content you're putting out there, how it all works together. Like your Instagram feed can be a whole art form for you to have your images all flow nicely and look good together. It's all part of an image. Treat it all like an art form. I treat my videography as an art form. Sharing photos of my studio, posting on my Facebook, everything I do online, I treat as an art form. I don't just snap shots. It's all very elaborately planned. And yeah, I really, really enjoy it. I like documenting my art life, my works in progress, my painting process, everything. So it's become more natural to me right now. But if you are serious about growing your Instagram following, your Facebook or Tumblr or whatever, you want to post quality content consistently. If you're dedicated to making an art page, make that page solely about your art. Don't just start posting videos of you with your friends at a bar. Make sure most of your content is focused on your art and things involving your work. Maybe a book you really like about art and the creative process. Maybe it's you going shopping for art materials or you going to a museum and getting inspiration. These are just examples of things that I post because that's what I like. But all those things are involving art, and that's why people follow me, is for my art. I'm assuming, just to guess, because that's basically what I do. Don't put so much focus on the numbers because that can be discouraging, especially if it doesn't happen quickly. If that momentum doesn't happen at a fast pace and this is all you're focused on, it can be very draining. It can be exhausting. It can be tiring. You're putting so much energy into something and it seems like it's not going anywhere. And that might be discouraging, and you shouldn't focus on that. Focus on your work, how you feel about your art, your self-expression, and improving the quality of your work. Be sure to engage with your followers. At this point, it kills me inside that I can't answer every single comment I get, but I do my best to answer a lot of people. And if you watch my YouTube videos and scroll through the comments, you will see me answering a lot of people. And I'm sure a lot of you I've answered multiple times because I genuinely care about thanking you for paying attention to my art and supporting my art in this way and being so kind to me. That really means the world. The fact that people actually care to see my creations and watch what I make and hear my thoughts, that means a lot to me, and I really, really appreciate it. And so you want to engage with your audience as much as you can. So my main focus and where I answer the most comments is definitely my YouTube channel because this is what I put the most work into. But I do answer people on other social networks as well. I just tend to focus more on my YouTube channel because that's kind of what really sparked everything for me, and this is where most of my growth has come from. No amount of followers that you get is going to make you happy. You just want to keep that in mind. If you are doing this because you're insecure, it's not going to help you. It's not going to make you feel better about yourself. In fact, it's going to open you up to more criticism and possible hate, and you just have to accept that this is a part of the package and it comes with the deal. And you just can't let it get to you, or you can't take it seriously, because if somebody's being mean to you and they're hating on you online, that really says a lot more about them than it does about you. No person who's happy with their life and happy with themselves is going to go around and leave nasty comments and messages for people on other social media platforms. They would be too busy doing something they enjoy, but they're not. They're so miserable and so sad that they're wasting their time, this precious time that they have on earth, to be nasty to people. That's just sad, and I feel sorry for those people, and I just ignore them, or I wish them a nice day or have a great week. I either kill them with kindness or I block and ignore. It's just not worth the attention. It's not worth acknowledging them, fighting with them, arguing. It's just not worth it. It's a huge waste of time. So you're just going to have to grow a thick skin and accept that this is a part of the package and understand why these people do this. It's because they're unhappy. That's really all it means. I have compassion for that, but I don't have pity for it. Having popularity online isn't going to make you happy. It's being under a microscope of some kind, like having a lot of attention can sometimes exasperate whatever tension you have going on inside you, whether it's insecurity or anxiety or any kind of problems that you have with yourself. What's really going to bring you happiness is making quality art and focusing your attention and your energy on that, if that's really what you enjoy doing. So that should be your main focus, and I think everything else will stem from that core place of genuine love and honesty about art. Anyway, those are just some of my thoughts about social media and the art world and what I think about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it a little bit helpful. Let me know what else you would like me to talk about as far as art careers go, or the art world, or anything art related. I can just talk forever if anybody wants to listen. You know, I could just be talking to myself. And in reality, I'm sitting in a room by myself talking to myself, which is kind of weird. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!